Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Today I want to talk a little bit about this StartPage sale to System1, or is it PrivacyIO group? This has been a question that has come up several times since the sale was originally announced a little over a week ago, and I wanted to get a chance to do a little bit more research before I commented on it. As many of you know, if you follow my channel, is that I have recommended the StartPage and generally have preferred it over DuckDuckGo. Even in the last couple of months, as StartPage on the mobile started to become a little bit more annoying, I switched over to DuckDuckGo there in some cases, and I even switched one of my work computers over to DuckDuckGo as a test, and I found that the results were not quite as good as I could still get on StartPage. Now the question is, am I going to continue to use StartPage? So let's go ahead and see what all is out there in the world. So this is the original announcement. So building a more private internet experience with PrivacyIO group. So we believe a more private internet is better and that you deserve the option to search the internet while keeping your personal data private. To help bring true search privacy to more people, PrivacyIO Group Ltd. has invested in StartPage.com, the world's first and most private search engine. PrivacyIO Group and StartPage's relationship began in January 2019, and I will note that this announcement did not occur until I think it was late October. So they have been working with this organization for 10 months without telling anybody. And that, ladies and gentlemen, may be transparency issues. I don't know. You be the judge. So they go on. After a transitional planning and alignment, the teams are expected to announce their joint mission to deliver more private options to the world. StartPage will continue to be headquartered and operated in the Netherlands, ensuring all of our users worldwide are protected by Dutch and EU privacy laws. Both StartPage and PrivacyIO Group are passionately driven by the mission of providing quality, unbiased search results while respecting online privacy and never storing consumer data. So you can read the rest of this press release here. I'll have all of these articles here linked down below. Now it says down here, PrivacyIO Group is a separate operating unit of System1, focused entirely on user privacy. The problem is, if you get online, at least at the time I'm doing this video, and for the past couple of weeks since I first heard about this, you will find absolutely nothing about this group. No search result shows up anything relating to this group, except for two things. This article here, and this one here from TechRights. And this article here from TechRights, I don't know what to think of it. If we want to be super gung-ho on all things privacy, and I am a very privacy-centric person, I might want to say, awesome, these guys are doing great things. But the problem is it seems more like an op-ed piece than anything with fact. And let's go ahead and just have a look at this. And I'll just say up front here that I don't know what to think about this organization. So it says, summary is that StartPage sold out and may have also sold data it retained about its users to a privacy-hostile company whose entire business model is surveillance. All right. So this person goes on to say he's advocated IXQuick, and which is now basically StartPage. They were two separate entities. They've combined together a few years ago, and now IXQuick will redirect to StartPage. That introduced some JavaScript mess, and then he stopped using it. He went to Wikipedia, I'm not sure why, and Cirex, which is what he is recommending now. And then he comes down and says about 3 weeks ago, who are the owners of StartPage was published to the support pages of StartPage. So this is this page right here. So this one here, StartPage, the world's most private search engine, is owned by Surfboard Holding BV. Surfboard Holding is a privately held Dutch company registered in Zeist, the Netherlands. In its years, Surfboard Holdings had numerous shareholders. However, during its significant formative years, Surfboard Holding shareholders were subsequently reduced to its core founders, who acquired a majority stake in 2006. We most recently welcomed PrivacyIO Group Ltd., a privacy-focused division that is a separate operating unit of System1 LLC, as a significant new shareholder. Surfboard Holdings founders and management continue to own an important stake in the company and lead its privacy-focused mission. You can find the press article here, and that's the original article that we looked at. Let's go back to our article here. So he's looking at this and saying, and this is actually just a quote from the article, this paragraph here. So we're going to skip over that. So now he's talking about this linked to this page here, which is the first one that we looked at. But this is System1. System1 is a pay-per-click behavioral ad company. StartPage was sold to a pay-per-click behavioral ad company. And, I did not actually, I forgot to pull in one article. I actually wanted to show the wording from a separate independent organization which gathers information for investors about them, and they described System1 as a company that uses cognitive behavioral sciences and other scientific methods to predict the outcomes of people's online behaviors. It was something to that general effect, and I wish I pulled that back up. Didn't even realize until just now that article was missing. But if you go and look for information on System1 on sites that gather data for investors and potential investors, that is what you will read, that they use cognitive behavior to predict user responses. In other words, to sell ads, they do pay-per-click, and we'll have a look at their website here in a bit. Website of the company says System1 offers a new approach to attracting users and expanding audiences. We have buying strength across multiple networks and have unique search and ad partnerships with Google, Bing, and Yahoo. So a company that has unique ad partnerships with Google, Bing, and Yahoo now owns a unknown stake in StartPage through what we can only guess is a proxy company in quote name only. This is a business strategy. If you want to protect your primary company, so to borrow into it, the Sacklers released the opioids on the world and they created their company of Purdue. Well, if they had enough forethought, they might have actually created a secondary company just to push those individual things. That caused a lot of issues through their deceptive practices. They could have bankrupted that company without even implicating Purdue. Same type of thing is going on here, it would appear, because this new PrivacyIO Group Ltd. Has zero information, not even corporate holdings documents, which my company has corporate holdings documents because it's a legal requirement in the United States. So with all of that, not that you'll find anything about the company there, it's just a requirement. This company, PrivacyIO Group, doesn't even have that. So it begs a really good question. Who is really controlling what? So it says if StartPage becomes just another spying benefits, what is left to it? What benefits are left to it? They say nothing. In fact, they're marking it as being paid for privacy, as in PrivacyIO Group. But is it really for privacy? Now, if you read through this whole article, again, there's not a lot of real facts. And to their defense, however, there's really no facts on the internet about this. Now we get down to the bottom down there and it says, oh, and just to be sure, everyone knows that DuckDuckGo is also surveillance and false marketing of privacy, right? References, please. I looked for this verification, can't find it. So unless something else comes out about DuckDuckGo, we are left to assume that it is privacy focused, as StartPage seems to be privacy focused, except that they're selling out to this individual group. So here is System1's website. And again, there is nothing about this PrivacyIO Group, which is somehow affiliated to System1, but could just be a proxy alternate name by which this company does direct business with StartPage down the middle. So User acquisition is getting harder. That is a consumer internet and applications company with the most powerful audience expansion platform in the industry. As one of the largest purchasers of digital advertising in the world, we are refining user acquisition through paid marketing and are able to attract new audiences at scale for our properties and partners. Our proprietary, best-in-class buy-sell technology platform leverages our advanced data science capabilities and strategic partnerships. So they have a proprietary, best-in-class buy-sell technology that is going to leverage their scientific capabilities and their partnerships. So the platform offers top publishers and our proprietary products a full funnel solution to attracting users and expanding audiences. We've built strength across multiple networks and have unique search and ad partnerships with Google, Bing, and Yahoo. We leverage best-in-class proprietary buy-side and sell-side tools, data science, real-time bidding, and partnership strategies. So if we want to say that, sure, they are, at the one hand, one of the largest pay-per-click ad agencies, and on the other hand, still focused on human privacy, maybe they're just using StartPage because it's a way to generate ad revenue with the ability to not collect data through StartPage. And if you have never worked with Google Ads, and I have, you can set up Google Ads to target people's behavior, or you can set up Google Ads to not target people's behavior. You can set them up to track a lot of data. You can set them up to not track a lot of data. Only if we could actually get a glimpse of StartPage's actual ad account could we actually determine that information. So, of course, it's just a hipster California company, by the way. We look at who we are. We founded in 2013, 5 locations, 275 plus employees, 50%, greater than 50% in product engineering, and 999 plus karaoke songs sung. Excuse me, why is that relevant? What do we do? Well, apparently they sit on the grass with laptops and in boardrooms. So, on their primary business models, publishing and lead generation, our websites generated combined 120 million monthly visitors and 400 plus million monthly clicks. So this is where I can say that maybe they're just acquiring StartPage, who doesn't collect data in theory, simply as a thing to sell their ads. It's a possibility. I mean, what does StartPage have that they can invest in? Becoming big enough to gather some market, pull some market away from Google, and sell a few ads in the middle of their searches. In search, they say we drive additional search traffic for the 3 largest search players, Google, Bing, and Yahoo. We also power search for our sizable network of partners. So they're directing traffic to Google, Bing, and Yahoo. And now they own a stake in StartPage. Applications and services. We leverage our user acquisition capabilities with consumer applications and services. We offer a full suite of privacy and security products, including private search, privacy browsers, and software offering, antivirus, ad blocking, and VPN. By the way, you never, ever, 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 ever use a VPN through an ad agency, because a VPN through any company gives that company the full ability to log and track everything you do. And this VPN is sold through System1, not PrivacyIO Group. Using this VPN, they are going to collect everything about you. Everything. They do have privacy. They're focused on consumer privacy and building a safer internet. Once again, even on this page here, they're leveraging as much marketing is going out about VPNs to try and talk about this. Again, their VPN is just going to be collecting your data. In fact, there are some links that you can find reviewing their VPN, and it is rated 2 out of 10 stars. Bait and switch tactics and other weird things like that. Now, most information we can find actually comes from this StartPage subreddit. So this is a subreddit on our privacy. There is actually another subreddit for StartPage itself, and some of the StartPage people are in here. Now, you can read through this. There's over 217 comments on here now. You can read through all this. We're actually not going to go through a lot of it, but a lot of it, one of the early posts is this user, Liz McIntyre, who also has some comments on a discussion thread on PrivacyTools.io. Liz McIntyre is a former StartPage employee who has resigned. She says, I am told the privacy will remain in place. Never take this for granted, though. Ongoing public scrutiny is important. And this points how important it is for us to ask the privacy services we use important questions. Services can change overnight. This is Liz McIntyre, a former employee of StartPage, who has resigned, and there was nothing hostile. She's just resigned for some reason that I have not been able to find the reason. She might have it out there. I can't say I looked a lot, but she did not answer questions that people asked to say, why did you resign, or was there an NDA? So she says, here are some questions I propose you to ask of all privacy services. Please add to this. Who owns the company and what percentage? Now, there is the PrivacyTools.io reached out to both StartPage and to System1 for comment. And since both companies are private, nobody is saying what percentage of share System1 actually has over StartPage. So it is an undisclosed amount, and they are choosing not to disclose it. There's nothing that legally requires them to because they're both private companies. If one of them were public, that information would be disclosable. This one is not. So her first question, what percentage does each owner hold? They're not telling us. Have you changed how information is processed and shared in the last year? Do you share data, even fuzzed or anonymized data, with other owners or shareholders? Please share a diagram of how information flows when a user interacts with your service. Do you open source any of your code, and where can we find it? And then she has some important audit-related questions. You can read those. So basically, she's saying, let's add to the list. I recommend that someone start a central database of information about various privacy-focused companies so we don't all reinvent the wheel on this. So there is also a StartPage subreddit over here. So this is for their information. So here's just some information on this. And there's 81 comments on this one. If you use a third-party audit to prove what you're claiming, this is helpful. So this is Liz McIntyre comments in, actually only 5 hours ago. Helpful if that audit also provides full disclosures like the percentage of StartPage and Surfboard Holding BV and System1 bot, the current owner's percentage. And she's focusing on this because these are things, the numbers the company is not going to say. This person says StartPage lost their trust. There's some information here. Again, you can link this in. In fact, give me just a second. I don't think I actually have this in my original show notes. Let me go ahead and put that in there. So that'll be in the description as well. So you can read through those comments as well. The one I wanted to look at is Privacy.io, because Privacy.io has this one and a separate search page where they are setting this as a candidate for delisting. So what PrivacyTools.io is this is a website which provides just a lot of information. So if you want to learn more about privacy, what are the best systems, best providers, best web browsers, and they'll rank things, list things. So if you come over here to providers, here's like cloud storage, all these different things. If you find search engines, they're recommending CRX, StartPage, DuckDuckGo, and Quant. What they're doing is they are in a discussion right now to remove StartPage from this list. All right, so this is actually the original idea here, which was posted 28 days ago. StartPage is now partly owned by System1 and partly in question because we don't know. And what they're going to do here is they said, we don't want to jump the gun on this. We'd like to get more information. And so eventually I don't remember, I think it's actually on the other one, on the other thread, we actually have some of their comments coming back. So this is just kind of a discussion. So this Liz McIntyre again. One key question, what is PrivacyIO Group? Where is it located? Okay, what percentage of StartPage did System1 purchase? Many others are left unanswered as well. So in other words, nobody knows what information is out there about this PrivacyIO Group. There is no website. There is no links to it. There is no company filings, which there should be, or there are supposed to be. So this guy says no sign of any such entity on Open Corporations, and a search under PrivacyIO without group does not appear to show any recent companies, despite System1 claim of P1G being a separate company, not a group. Meanwhile, there are also bound to be journalists who will write about it. Yeah, us, other Snoopy guys watching. Yeah, whatever. All right, so here is where they linked it. I think this is where some of the answers are. So let's just go ahead and jump over to this post here, and we'll kind of see what some of these are. So public records, I found there was a change in directors for Surfboard Holdings. Hold on, I wanted to read that. Let me go ahead and load this guy back up. Okay, public records I found show there was a change in directors in Surfboard Holdings on 12/31/18. By the way, this is right when their involvement with this PrivacyIO group happened, January 2019, which suggests any sale happened in December 18, not January 19. Michael Lewis Blend was named the director, 12/31. Blend was a co-founder and CEO of System1 at that time. Now remember, Surfboard Holdings BV is the company that owns StartPage. As of this date, 12/31, Michael Lewis Blend, who is a co-founder and CEO of System1, is now involved in the director. He's now the director for Surfboard Holdings. Okay. So you can see here how these have changed. Then they named the board of directors here. So in other words, Surfboard BV Articles Association appear to have changed in mid-July. Not sure why I haven't found a public record on details on this. Perhaps they can be found in the Dutch documents available for purchase. Last audit was made public was by Europrise. So happy to hear that there will be a diagram to show the data. So apparently there's going to be a diagram here. All right, so here is, oh, it looks like that did not link us directly to the emails, but don't worry, they are actually in this thread here. So this is actually the discussion starting as early as May. I'm really sad that they have not made a discussion on this yet. But a candidate for delisting of StartPage from PrivacyTools.io. So of course, linking back to the articles we've already seen. Nobody really knows. They wanted to do their due diligence and wanted to get some information. So they sent out some emails out to the CEOs, and they did get some responses, which are in here. Hopefully I will find them. Here is some changes in the notes from September 28th to October 17th. Simply changing that as a separate operating unit, which seems to be an addition. So this guy here, Dan RL, excuse me, he is at Think Privacy. I don't know much about Think Privacy, but I think it's another group just like PrivacyTools.io. He says, on Think Privacy, I removed StartPage and StartMail until I can find out more. I would rather lean on the side of not recommending something bad and re-add it later if I am wrong. In a case like this, I would personally recommend that PrivacyTools.io does the same because you do not want to accidentally suggest people give their data to a company looking to exploit it. And I actually will agree with Dan's point here. The problem here is that we do not have information. There is no information out there about this alleged PrivacyIO group. Nobody knows who they are. Nobody can say who they are. They're not talking. We don't know what's going on. Okay, so Jonah here says, after emailing him, he says, I will update when I receive a reply. Liz says, believe StartMail is a separate company, so StartMail might actually be completely independent from this sale. We don't know for sure. Okay, okay, so here we go. So Jonah received an email from both Ian Whitegate and StartPage CEO Brian Bean. So Ian Whitegarden, I believe it is. I said Whitegate earlier. Whitegarden is at System1 and or PrivacyIO Group. He says, I can confirm that this is a separate entity of System1 that is focused on privacy. We believe the time for the internet privacy is now, which is why privacy-focused tools are such an important area of investment. Would you give us some details? Maybe a website would be cool. Open source your code. Tell us what you do. I mean, what do you mean by privacy? Because a ad agency that says we're focused on privacy is a complete contradiction of terms. He also states privacy-related decisions remain in control of StartPage. That is important. So we invested in StartPage largely because of its strong leadership and proven success. As a privacy business, we don't disclose specific financial details. Gosh, that's the one thing you shouldn't be disclosing. You should be disclosing that. You should be disclosing how much you bought it for, what stake of the company you own. Okay, you can't say, we're a privacy company, we're not giving that information. I'm sorry. No, you should be giving that information because you're a alleged privacy company with no info. Like, I get privacy. They're super private. Nobody knows anything about these people. But somehow they're connected to a giant ad group that uses scientific procedures to discern somebody's future online predictive behavior and uses that information to sell ads and drive it to Google and Microsoft and Yahoo, and all of these guys. This is saying we're a privacy company, so we're not going to divulge this information. That's a problem. It says here, however, we can confirm that we made a significant investment. Is that significant over 50%? I mean, is that significant 75? Is that significant quorum on voting powers? We don't know what significant means. And we trust Robert and his team to a clear vision to bring privacy to more people. For the last 13 years, StartPage has been trusted by privacy-conscious users. As part of our investment in StartPage, we have provided that Robert and his team will continue to control privacy-related decisions and will remain headquartered in the Netherlands. We know both of these issues are important to StartPage and users around the world. They received an email also from StartPage CEO, Mr. Beans. System1 is a consumer internet company with a lot of search engine experience. At the same time, they understand the world is changing and that privacy-friendly alternatives like StartPage are needed. They seem important for the future of privacy and have set up a new and separate company called PrivacyIO Group, where they want to assemble new privacy and security initiatives. Their investment in StartPage will provide additional funds and resources, especially marketing expertise and connections, to create more traction for our product, especially in the US. The investment from PrivacyIO Group does not change our mission to bring true search privacy to more people. It will help us to further it. To ensure this, the investment includes covenants that ensure complete control over all privacy-related decisions remain with StartPage and its management team. So in theory, if this is to be trusted, nothing is going to be changing as far as the data collection. In other words, they're not going to collect data. They're not going to store IP logs. They're not going to store user data. So when we mention more comprehensive product offerings and improved user expectations in our blog, this specifically relates to opportunities to offer expansions of our privacy offerings, like private news, private maps. In other words, the whole suite of Google products, privacy-focused instead. System1 has access to maps and news feeds that we want to offer in a fully anonymous way to our users. True technical privacy does take time to implement correctly, though, so this is something for 2020. To be clear, neither System1 nor PrivacyIO Group can access any personal or privacy-related information from our users. That is an interesting sentence to me, because it says they cannot access any personal or privacy-related information from our users. Does that mean there's information for them to use? That's an interestingly worded sentence. Future, we have new shareholder in the company that will not change any aspect of the user privacy we offer. We are a Dutch company and will continue to do so, being fully compliant with Dutch and EU privacy regulations, GDPR. We don't store or share any personal data. No change either. Our clear privacy policy will stay the same. Management/founders, including myself, continue to have an important stake in the company and will continue to be fully committed to our privacy mission. So Liz responded after this went up 24 days ago. Liz responded after this, but what is PrivacyIO Group? I haven't been able to find it anywhere on the public records except for a British island reference that is probably not related. The term LTD suggests it is a limited liability corporation, or is that just the name for a division or something else? I'm guessing they will be posting answers to Redditor questions like that on the Reddit threads, maybe at our StartPage search. It's probably easier to do just there. Did they say they would be doing that? So we don't have a lot of information. Let's see if there's anything else down here. It doesn't look like there's a ton more here. Let's see what this one is here. All right, I think that's pretty much where we are at. We've already looked at the company, so we've had a look at all the things. So literally that is everything that the internet knows right now about this StartPage sale to System1. There's too many questions for me. You can't say we're a privacy company, so we're not disclosing how we're doing all this stuff. If you're a privacy company, you can still sit here and say how you work. You can sit here and tell us about the logs. Maybe you could open source the scripts that are running on your systems to make sure that no IP addresses are ever saved or accessed or acquired. So the fact that they're keeping all of this stuff as hidden as possible, the fact that there is no information at all, not even corporate filings for this PrivacyIO group, which is, by the way, in the United States, at least a requirement by law, that raises a lot of questions. So I think at this point in time, I'm not going to recommend any search engines. People are talking about CRX. I have not used it. I believe, to my understanding, you can actually get the code and execute it on your own server. So any searches are done through your own system. In theory, that anonymizes you. I don't know for sure if that's the case or not. I want to look into that a little bit more. DuckDuckGo, of course, we have the one crazy article that's more tinfoil hat than I am. That's like, we all know DuckDuckGo is a spy agency. References, please. If you have such references, it's not just, but they are. Leave me legitimate references in the comments. I want to review DuckDuckGo and see what you guys find. StartPage, I don't know. If I'm to trust the emails that StartPage retains control of all that, then I'm going to say it'll probably continue to be safe using it. But the fact that they're so tied in now to this company that does such scary and weird and goofy things, that to me is a big red flag. And I don't like to get this close to ad companies, especially when they're operating through a proxy company that nobody has any information on. So as far as for me, I'm going to poke around with CRX. I might poke around with Quant, who is also on privacy.io recommendations. I'm going to look at jumping to some other search engines as tests on some of my systems and see what we find. I'm going to see if DuckDuckGo is coming around yet. And I'm going to keep on looking. I'm not satisfied with the answers I'm finding from StartPage. And the last thing that I want to see is more marketing stuff. When a big group like StartPage starts combining with a big ad agency data collecting firm that's using scientific methods to predict human behavior, I get a little concerned, and I think I don't want to do a whole lot more of that system. So as far as I'm concerned, I think I'm going to pull my recommendation for StartPage at this point in time, at least until more information about this partnership is disclosed. Despite your public companies, if you want my endorsement, number one, I want to know exactly what percentage is being held. I want information about this company. I want to know what you are doing for privacy. I mean, you can tell us that much. What are you doing to maintain privacy? How does a company focused on maintaining privacy that is connected with an ad agency that uses scientific models to predict human behavior, how is that possibly not a cognitive dissonance? Answer me those questions and you may get the recommendation back, because I do legitimately like the search results I get on StartPage. I just don't see the answers to the questions that I have here. Those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments down below.